Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first HomeAway quarterly webinar for property managers. My name is Kara Lawson, and I work on our marketing team here at HomeAway. We are so excited to be here with you today. This is going to be the first of a series of webinars that we'll be sharing with property managers every single quarter, specifically for property managers who list with HomeAway. Today, I'll introduce you to our speakers, John Suzuki and Lisa Chen, who are going to give you a look into our top priorities for our property managers on HomeAway, explain a little history of where HomeAway has been and where we're going, and show you some exciting new features that we're building specifically for property managers. But first, let's go into a little housekeeping. You are all muted and we cannot hear you, but if you have any questions during the webinar, we really want to hear them. You can use the questions panel to ask questions during the webinar, and we'll be sharing out top questions and answers sent to us during the event afterward. So keep an eye out for emails follow up to you after the event. And last, you will all get access to a recording of the video in the next few weeks. So if some of your team wasn't able to make it today, we really hope that you'll share it with them. And again, just keep an eye out. We'll be sending that to you via email. And with that, I'll hand it over to our first speaker, John Suzuki, who is HomeAway's Global Evangelist and Property Manager Advocate.
Hey everybody, this is John Suzuki, and welcome to this quarter's webinar for property managers. I am thrilled to be here. As Karen mentioned, I'm HomeAway's Evangelist and Property Manager Advocate, which means that my role is to share the HomeAway story with you and to advocate for you within HomeAway and Expedia. We've got a ton to cover today, including giving you a view into some of the things we shared at ResFest, which is our annual event for property managers that we hosted about a month ago in Florida. I am super excited to be joined today by Lisa Chen, who is someone you really want to get to know, and I'll introduce you to in a bit. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is to take you through a story about how we got to where we are today. Then we're going to share some of what we're doing today, how we're moving forward, and some things that we recommend you focus on. Like I said, we got a lot of ground to cover, so let's go ahead and get started. I think many of you would agree that HomeAway has been driving a lot of change in this industry. What you may not know is the context that drove some of the most fundamental changes ever to happen at HomeAway. And here's the context. It's called Google. So, as many of you know, HomeAway was originally built on free organic search on our tiered subscription model that everybody learned to love. Then one day, Google started charging for top placement in their search results, and suddenly we were looking at Google invoices ending in 8 zeros. And a lot of you guys experienced a similar experience as well with regards to how they changed their business model. So all that created a little bit of unanticipated financial tension, is what I call it, that of itself necessitated our change to a full e-commerce marketplace. But we also knew that we couldn't do it alone, and we knew that only Expedia had the resources and the expertise to get us through the transformation to one of the world's best e-commerce businesses. So when Expedia acquired HomeAway, it was literally all hands on deck. So the example I use is the Yellow Pages. You know, some of you may remember those giant yellow books that magically showed up on your front door. Imagine the guys at the Yellow Pages announcing one day that they're going to become, eBay or Amazon. You just kind of go, really? Seriously? Kind of tough, right? So it really was all hands on deck, and we moved fast and put much of our previous work into maintenance mode because we had to move fast, change fast ourselves in order to make that transformation possible. The problem was that as we made fast changes, so too did you have to change with us, and we didn't have the level of appreciation that we should have had on the complexities of your property management business and how much the changes we were making impacted your businesses. But through it all, our vision and our intent was to build a sustainable business in partnership with you. But as in all transformations, there were a couple of bumps in the road along the way, and I want to talk to you about one of the biggest elephants in the room ever: the subscription off-platform booking fees. In a word, the reason why all this happened back in December of 2017 was because of a loophole. And so this loophole was created as we built the new model of e-commerce, where bookings were originating from HomeAway, but HomeAway wasn't getting credit for those bookings, and we had to close it. In doing so, we wanted to offer you guys options on how to move forward in closing the loophole. Option one was what we call the OTA model, with instant bookings only. The problem was that a lot of you didn't like that because there was no opportunity to talk with your guests beforehand. Option two was about what emerged as an industry standard, to give you the ability to communicate with your guests through our secure communication system. But a lot of you didn't like that either because it wasn't flexible enough for what you wanted to do. So then we thought we were doing a great thing by offering you option three, which was something that nobody in the industry ever did before. And it was based on trust, where you trusted us and we trusted you, letting you report bookings to HomeAway that HomeAway deserved credit for. The problem was that we communicated this loophole situation pretty poorly, and we inadvertently caused a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety for our partners, much of which probably wouldn't have happened if we didn't offer option three in the first place, but we did so because we thought it was the right thing to do. So there was some good that actually came out of that whole experience. First of all, we learned to get an appreciation of your property management business. We got to learn what it takes to manage a PM like you, like your company. Second, we learned that timing matters and that we need to give you adequate warning and lead time to make major changes. Because sometimes we made changes that required a lot more lead time in general and affected things like your owner contracts and your discussions to get permission from your owners to do some of the things that we were looking for you to do. And we also learned that we needed to improve our communications and education big time to let you know what we were doing, why we're doing it, and how it applies to your business, as well as why you should care and how we're going to move forward with it, and all with as minimal impact on your companies as possible. So from that experience, we got lots and lots of feedback, but we still wanted to learn as much as we could about property managers and how best to serve you. So we launched a whole new series of seminars across the country called Rise and Shine. In the first 6 months of 2018, we visited 25 regions across the United States, and I personally met with over 700 property managers like you to understand how you were feeling and what we could do to make things better and move forward in a better fashion. This was so important to us that John Kim, our president, and other senior leaders of HomeAway joined me to have really deep conversations with property managers across the country. And boy, did you guys give us great feedback. It was awesome. So the best part about that experience, as painful as it was in a lot of ways, was that we took your feedback and we did something with it. So here's what we did. We made 3 announcements within HomeAway that completely changed the way we're now working with and for property managers. That's you guys, who represent a hugely important part of our business. The first announcement was in our commitment to make major new investments in supporting you, our property management partners. The second was that we announced the creation of a new organization at HomeAway specifically dedicated to you as our PM partners. This is a global organization that now specializes in your businesses. And third, we announced a new leader in the organization, Lisa Chen, who you're going to meet here in just a minute. So we learned a lot, and we're taking action on behalf of you, our property management partners. And to be clear, when I say we're investing in property managers, that does not mean that HomeAway is buying property management companies to go into direct competition with you like some of our competitors are. That is not happening. Our focus is on helping you drive more bookings and for you to be more successful. So as I went across the country, one of the questions that folks often ask me was about how HomeAway was doing as a company with all the changes that were happening and that we were driving. After all, many viewed this transition to an e-commerce marketplace as being pretty risky. So I wanted to share a couple of things with you. Last year at ResFest in 2017, we announced that Expedia and Expedia's family of companies received 600 million visits per month. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine if your website got 600 million visits every month? It's huge. But hold that thought because it's coming to a theater near you. But now, in 2018, our traffic has grown from 600 million visits per month to almost 700 million per month. That's a lot of eyeballs, and we're continuing to grow. But the next thing is what I'm most excited about. Our gross bookings went up by 33% in the first 6 months of this year, year over year. And the best part is that it all happened through folks like you, our partners. In other words, this is success that we accomplished together. And we view that success as a footnote to what we think the real opportunity is moving forward for everybody on this call. And we've committed to doing a much better job for you moving forward. All right. One other question that was often asked to me was about what HomeAway and Expedia does to grow the category, right? Well, we don't have the numbers yet for 2018, obviously, because 2018 is still in play. Last year, Expedia spent $5.3 billion in marketing, which represented more than half of our revenue. So with our continued success, we are continuing to invest more than ever in marketing to raise awareness of your businesses and your homes. So that's a little bit on how we got to where we are today. With that, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and I'd like to introduce you to Lisa Chen, who is our new general manager responsible for our global property management business, to take you through how we're going to move forward on your behalf. So Lisa, this is everybody. Everybody, this is Lisa.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm really happy to be on the call today, and I'm especially excited to see how many of you made the time to join us today, and I want to thank you for that. As John mentioned, my name is Lisa Chen, and I'm heading up a newly created organization that is dedicated solely to you, our global property managers. And so what I wanted to do is take a couple of minutes to introduce myself and give you a little bit about my background, and then tell you more about what we're doing to double down on your business and ensure your success. Next slide. So I started my career in the mid-90s helping companies who wanted to take advantage of this thing called .com, and worked with them, basically working with companies that wanted to build out their e-commerce footprint. After getting my MBA, I worked in management consulting for a few years, where I helped really large companies that were going through really complex transitions and wanted to make sure they were successful by putting their customers' needs first. And I did pretty much the same thing during my 6-year tenure at the Walt Disney Company, working in a strategic marketing advisory role for the entire organization. And then ultimately I landed about 5 years ago at HomeAway, and specifically I had been managing our B&B business, which included a website called bedandbreakfast.com, as well as managing a couple of software products that supported the B&B space. And so if I could sum up my career in 2 sentences, and really it's around 2 key passion areas. One is that I have a passion for helping companies find their path with customers' needs squarely in mind. And secondly, while I've worked with both consumers and within the B2B space, I really do have a passion for helping businesses, like I did at bedandbreakfast.com, where I worked with B&B owners to drive meaningful growth to their business. Next slide. And if there was ever an industry that was tailor-made for me, it's this one. To say I'm an avid traveler is frankly putting it mildly. I've traveled to 32 countries and counting. I've lived on 5 continents. And about 10 years ago, my husband and I did the unthinkable and quit our jobs and traveled for a year. And during that time, we really wanted to hone in on what it was like to live like locals and to have an intimate experience with each place we went to. And so to do that, we stayed at over 150 VRs and B&Bs along the way. The other thing that you should know about me, and for those of you who are coming to Verma, come find me. I am willing and happy to talk about scuba pretty much any day of the week. I love to scuba, and if I could, I'd be giving you this presentation from under the water. And then lastly, 2 years ago, as those of you who have seen the American film Benjamin Button, you kind of know it's with Brad Pitt, and you know it's about a man who basically ages backwards. So that's what my husband and I have done in a way. We, quit our jobs and retired for a year. And then 2 years ago, we added a little two-legged munchkin to our family. And he is another reason why I'm even more passionate about travel. I truly think it's important to not just give him things, but to give him adventures and to give him memories and to help him create connections. And most importantly, to have him experience all of the different perspectives that come from living and traveling around the world. Next slide. So I want to go back to Disney for a second. At Disney, one of Disney's core values was having family's best interest at heart. Now, when I got to the company, they had moved away from that guiding principle, and it was my team and I that helped them reorient around it. And I very much carry the same principle into my current role, putting your best interests front and center and having your interests at heart. Now, I've been in this role for about 3 months now, and during that time, I've met with over 150 property managers. I look forward to hopefully significantly increasing that number at Verma. And I've spent time listening to you and learning from you and understanding what your needs are. And during that time, I've identified 4 areas of feedback that have been so consistent that I think it's important to acknowledge today. The first is around communication, and this takes several forms. What you've told me is that I want HomeAway to communicate with me in a way that shows that you understand my business using relevant language and that you show me what's in it for me, why I should get it. And I understand that you're operating a business, and therefore you need time to prepare for changes. And so within that, you've asked us to communicate with you and give you advance notice so that you can be successful and prepare for that change. As just one example, we know we need to be sensitive to and mindful of the owner contracts that you have and that there's an annual cycle that you go through. And so with this, we're making a number of different changes. And just to give you a small sampling, we're putting a group together made up of you guys, our property management customers, and we plan to meet with this group very regularly so that we can test messages, learn what language resonates the most, and we want to meet with this group as regularly as possible because we want to communicate with you more frequently as well. We also have the whole new organization with me leading it that includes property management experts within the company. And we're focused on hiring other industry experts and adding training for those who aren't, so that we can all know what it's like to be in your shoes. So we're changing what we say, when we say it, so you can know what's in it for you, why it's important, and what your options are. The next theme I've heard is related to listening. You know, a good friend and someone who I deeply respect said that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and therefore we should listen twice as much as we talk. And that's something we're going to be doing more of at HomeAway. So John talked about Rise and Shines, and we're going to be extending that forum and creating and investing in other forums so that we can come listen to you, learn from you, get your feedback, and we're going to be bringing more of the senior management to you so that we can learn together. And we appreciate hearing from you how we can do better at this. The third theme is around being open and transparent. And this is a value that is very important to me. And I've heard 2 flavors of this. One is we don't know what's coming next and we don't understand the bigger picture. It's like having the puzzle pieces but no picture box to guide you. And so we're making a couple of key changes that I want to outline today. Starting with this webinar, we're going to be giving you a quarterly update that will give you visibility into our priorities, what we're actively working on, so that you can understand how those priorities fit into the bigger strategic initiatives that we have at HomeAway. We're also going to start a blog that we'll use to help answer questions in an open forum, directly and in an open forum. I will personally be managing it, and we'll be sending it out every month. The first blog post will be answering the top questions from ResFest, and we'll also send out the answers in our monthly communications to you as well. And then the last thing that I wanted to highlight is around the products that we've built. And so what I've heard from you is that we need to relentlessly ensure that our products are easy to use, that they perform well, and are built with you, our property management business needs in mind. So now is the fun part. Now I'm going to tell you about how we're taking your business to the next level. We are making 3 commitments to you. The first is that we want to supercharge our partnership with you and make it easier for you to work with us day in and day out. Now, a big part of this is understanding your business from the top down, inside out, so that we can have the right context we need to give you the products you need and to be the easiest partner to work with. We want to be the company that you want to work with, not because you need to, but because you are delighted to work with us, because we care about you, we understand you, and our second commitment to you, because we look for every possible way to drive more high-quality bookings for you. This is about quantity and quality. It's not just more bookings, but it's the best price for each booking and ensuring that we get you the best travelers to come to your properties. And then lastly, our third commitment is that we want to simplify your business operations so that you can run your businesses more efficiently. And that's exactly what John will be telling you more about here in a minute. Now, when we say we're doubling down on your business, what we really mean is that we're doubling down on the entire property management ecosystem. And so that includes partnering with all of the companies that you use to power your business. This is why we work with lots of different software providers, even though we also provide our own software. We truly believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. However, for those of you who do use HomeAway software to run your business, you might be interested in this. You know, the number one question I got at ResFest is what the future holds for our software. And I want to be very, very clear. We stand by our software and are investing millions in our software business. So while we fully support the rising tide lifting all boats, we want to have one of the most beautiful boats out there. And for those of you who are our software customers, those of you who use Escapia and V12, we'll be sharing more about this in the near future with you. Okay, so I want to switch gears for a couple of seconds and give you some news that is hot off the press. I wanted to do a quick announcement. It's something that we literally just announced yesterday, and you might have seen the news that Expedia and really HomeAway has welcomed 2 new partners to the family, Pillow and Apartment Jet. So part of this is our commitment to providing technology that helps support the success of all property managers. This is part of one of the commitments we're making to you. So from a high level, these 2 companies provide software platforms that help solve challenges faced by multifamily communities and building property managers. And so when we say multifamily, what we mean is apartments, condos, the types of things that you would find in an urban environment. And the reason that we acquire them is because we know there is significant demand for U.S. and frankly international travelers to urban destinations. And so what does this mean? Really nothing for you in terms of how you run your businesses. However, know that it's going to bring many more travelers that will book on HomeAway, which will ultimately mean more bookings for you. And so to sum up, know that we're here, know that I'm here, and my team and I are directly measured and frankly accountable for growing your business, and we're here to help you succeed. And we're ready to take this business and kick it into high gear. And speaking of kick, I want you to know that I am going to kick ass on your behalf, and I want us to kick ass together. And really, in all seriousness, I am really excited to be here. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm honored to work with you and to serve you. I look forward to getting to know you. For those of you who are going to Verma, please come find me. I will be there. We're doing a lunch and learn. You can come find us there. And I am excited to take this journey together and to share in your success. And so now I'm going to hand it back over to John, who's going to tell you more about the things that we're working on for you.
All right, Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love the kick-ass part and super excited to be part of it. So as Lisa mentioned, we're laser focused on delivering to these 3 commitments because we believe that doing so will result in a whole new level of win-win for you, your travelers, your owners, our ecosystem business partners, and HomeAway. And we want to drive toward that perfect match in all of our relationships, right? All right, so switching gears a little bit, let's talk about growing your business. At this point, it makes a whole lot of sense that we start to bring travelers into this conversation, because when we deliver more high quality travelers, you're happy, your owners are happy, and so are we. And that siren in the background is not a cop car coming for me, I hope. All right. The number one thing travelers look for in vacation rentals is price. Unfortunately, pricing for many properties on HomeAway and VRBO is kind of broken, and it's broken because travelers see inconsistent prices through the booking process. For example, when a traveler types in their search criteria, and you can imagine this, and they end up on the search engine results page, the price they see on that page is often different from the price they see when they're ready to book the property. Some of you on this call are dealing with this yourself. So let's step out of the vacation rental world for a moment to illustrate what this means. Consider buying a TV on Amazon. I believe that most of you on this call are Amazon customers, so you can relate to this. So just imagine that you find a TV that you want to buy, and it shows a price of $700, right? But when you go to the checkout page, the price changes to $1,300. What would you do, right? For many, it would result in lost trust in Amazon, and potentially Amazon's loss of your business, not only for this deal, but for other deals in the future. After all, right, if Amazon wasn't able to get something as simple as price right, what else could be wrong? So the good news for Amazon is that Amazon is unmatched at making it easy for all of us to research, choose, transact, return, and have confidence in them. Their pricing is consistent throughout the customer's online experience, and this consistency in pricing is exactly what travelers expect from HomeAway's marketplace. The problem in our world of vacation rentals is that it's remarkably difficult to get to consistent pricing. Now, why is that? The reason is because no two property management companies manage their rates the same way. You know, I travel the country a lot, and in a room full of 100 people, I'll ask the question, how many of you guys in this room think you manage your rates the exact same way as anybody else in the room? And the response I get is laughter, right? Because everybody knows that everybody's different. So think about it. There are, I don't know, 400, 500 people on this webinar right now, and I doubt that any one of you manages your rates the same way as anybody else on this call. Everyone around the world has completely different pricing strategies with rates and logic that are set up completely differently. And then on top of that, many of you use yield management systems that are critical to running your business. So now consider, this is a little bit of a math problem, but now consider that we have millions of travelers who search HomeAway, right, and Expedia. Let's say one of them is searching for homes in your area, enters her search criteria, and when she hits enter, she expects to get accurate pricing for all the homes on the search engine results page, right? The problem is that within that split second, it is technologically impossible for us to call out to every software company with every property manager for accurate pricing on every home that meets the search criteria, consolidate and render all of that information millions of times a day, and return the results to the traveler in less than a second. It's impossible. And if that isn't bad enough, consider this. When pricing is inconsistent, up to 50% of travelers drop off. We lose them. 50%. So what do you think the impact could be if we could capture all of those travelers who are seeing your properties today but may not be booking because of the inconsistent pricing, right? This opportunity alone should be enough for all of us to want to work together to get to pricing consistency. But wait, because there's more. There's more reasons to get to price consistency, because price consistency will unlock your eligibility to Expedia distribution. That's 675 million visits from travelers every month, many of whom have never considered a vacation rental before. Simply stated, that means more demand that we deliver to you hugely. And we all know what happens when demand goes up, right? Pricing goes up. And this isn't just Expedia.com. It's also Travelocity, Cheap Tickets, eBookers, Orbitz, Egencia, and many others across North America and around the world that we'll be able to give your homes exposure to. But wait, there's more. When we get to price consistency, We also unlock what we believe to be the most powerful revenue management system in the world. It's called Market Maker. Some of you have heard of it. Some of you have played with it. Now, why do I say that it's the most powerful revenue management system in the world? It's all about the data that HomeAway and Expedia Group can give to you. Imagine having data, for example, that tells you the overall availability in your market, the number of people searching in your market, what prices they're booking for, what demand it looks like for homes like yours. And imagine that for the first time ever, you could have data that shows you predictive occupancy for up to 365 days ahead. It's never happened before. So now you have both the demand and supply signals to help set your pricing based on science and data and not just your gut, right? And what if you had a company like HomeAway to deliver that data to you in an easy, usable, and automated way so it's super easy for you to manage? And think about it. You can do some market analysis using your own inventory, but what we're talking about is market information in the areas you're operating in with data that is exclusively available only through HomeAway to help you maximize your revenue and fill in your gaps in ways that weren't possible before. And finally, Market Maker is going to enable you to set the right rates, the right discounts, the right premiums, the right promotions at the right time. All powered by travel data provided by HomeAway and Expedia. And think about it. Who else can give you this kind of comprehensive data, not only on vacation rentals, but on hotels, airlines, and everything else in travel? It can be incredibly powerful, and it'll be available to you once you have consistent pricing. Now, just so you know, however, we announced Market Maker last year, and we've been working hard to perfect it for property managers who manage any number of homes. Right now, the property management version of Market Maker is in beta, but you can expect to see it at a theater near you in the coming months. Okay? In the meantime, it's because unlocking Market Maker, Expedia Group of distribution sites, and the opportunity for many more bookings that price consistency is HomeAway's #1 priority. And we're moving forward in a big way to fix this in a way that's accurate, consistent, and performant for you and our travelers. Now, we know that many of you have started on the road to price consistency, and we also know it's not always an easy road. Some of you have asked for different ways and models to set up your rates. Some of you want to make sure your fees can work the way you want them to work on HomeAway. Many of you have asked us to make price consistency a lot easier, which obviously makes a lot of sense. And some of you have asked us to enable your yield management rules as part of this. We are listening, and we're working hard to implement all of those things the best way possible and approach this, given that, again, everybody does business differently. The problem is everybody does business differently, but everybody wants us to do business their way, and nobody wants to have to change. It's a real challenge, and that's what we have to deal with. So now, if you have completed the process and you have price consistency, congratulations and thank you. If you're in progress, your software provider can help you with the right steps to get there and give you the necessary coaching and support. If you haven't started, please get with your partner success account manager, and they can take you through the steps to get started through the process. All right, so now let's talk about some of the things we're working on to help you simplify your business operations. It's all about helping you be more efficient and helping you scale as your business continues to grow. So it's no secret that property management is a team effort. You and your team, you guys need ways to get fast insights and take quick action. As we have introduced products over the past years, it's probably fair to say that some of those products worked well for owners, but not as well for property managers like you who manage lots of properties, okay? For example, we got a lot of great feedback that while some of the tools and insights on your homes has been valuable, showing your properties one at a time wasn't the easiest experience to interact with. You simply don't have the time to go into each individual property to get insights. You also shared that it'd be more helpful if you could see an aggregate view of all your properties so you can see the biggest opportunities, where you should focus your energies, and where you should prioritize your efforts. So we took that feedback to heart, and I'm super happy to announce that we've launched a new multi-property dashboard specifically with property managers in mind. And we launched this new dashboard with property managers who came to ResFest, right? And we'll be rolling this out to everyone by the end of this year. So within this property manager dashboard, you'll now sorry, yep, excuse me, just a moment. All right, you'll now have the ability to see your results and capabilities all rolled up on this dashboard. So you'll have the ability to see what travelers care about in your market. You'll be able to see key insights about your performance on HomeAway, and most importantly, ways that you can optimize what you're doing on HomeAway to improve your performance. One of the flagship features with this new dashboard is our win-loss cards, which some of you are already familiar with. But we've made them even better. Again, this time with property managers in mind. For those of you who might not be familiar with this, win-loss cards is a technique used across industries and businesses that is statistically and scientifically proven to improve your performance by giving you insights into what you're winning, why you're winning, what you're losing, why you're losing, and really just to help you improve. We're bringing this technique to you to make it easier for you to capitalize on these kinds of insights, and no more hunting. Within the dashboard, you'll be able to see every property's daily wins and losses on the home page, as opposed to hunting and pecking at the marketplace feed one property at a time. The data is simplified, allowing you to understand why a traveler did or didn't choose your property versus a competitor in the market. One thing you'll also be able to see in this dashboard is an aggregated view of your properties that are performing best and those, on the other hand, that can use the most work. You'll be able to look at all your properties, but seeing the ones that are performing the best and the worst helps you see where you should prioritize and optimize your time. You can understand why you won bookings and apply those learnings to other properties. Conversely, you can quickly and easily look at losses and get insights on what you can do with those properties to improve your overall business performance. Now, I'm going to walk you through an example of how you can use this for your team. So if I click on one of the individual wins I won, okay, you'll see your property on the left, and you'll see the other property that the traveler considered on the right. You can see information on here like price, number of reviews, and then see additional dimensions on the top bar like metrics, photos, and amenities. By giving you this side-by-side view, it's easy to see where your opportunities are and also put yourself in the shoes of the traveler and seeing what they're seeing. So if I click on one of the bookings I won, you'll see your property on the left-hand side and the competitive property on the right. Okay? That competitive property is the property that a traveler considered and took a look at and compared with yours. You can see key information here like price, number of reviews, and then you can see additional dimensions on the top bar like metrics, photos, amenities, right? By giving you this side-by-side view, it's easy to see where your opportunities are and also put yourself in the shoes of the traveler to see what they're seeing. We will give you also visibility to key metrics you can see that are things that are really, really important to travelers. Again, your property is on the left and the other on the right. With this, you can get a pretty clear picture on why your property was successful here. You can compare some really important things that the traveler looks for, like the great response rate and low cancellation rates that can help drive higher bookings and more conversions. So this is hugely, hugely valuable information. Now, the bottom line with this as well is that you know when you win, but you don't know when you lose, right? The only way you'd be able to know when you lose an opportunity is if the traveler tells you. So we're bringing this information to you so that you can have those insights as well. But finally, I wanted to show you what you can see on the amenities tab. Here you can see the types of amenities travelers are searching for and filtering by. If you ever wondered what they care about, now you can know. Now you have these insights right in your dashboard. And for property managers in particular, this can be a super powerful tool, because one of the things you could do is have conversations with your owners about what travelers are looking for and what kinds of investments they need to make in their homes in order to perform better. That's hugely valuable. An important takeaway on this, though, is that it's not about one or two win-loss cards. It's about patterns and the aggregate that matters. You're going to have the ability to see what's happening in your market and optimize on what's best for you and your business. This tool for property managers is currently available in beta, right? If you're at ResFest, you got exclusive first access to it and can log into your dashboard today. But if you didn't attend ResFest, and by the way, this is a hint for attending ResFest next year, we let our attendees have first access to a lot of things. But if you didn't attend ResFest, we're going to be rolling out the beta to other property managers beginning next month. So let your account manager know that you're interested in participating, and so it'll be all good. Now, let's talk about one more thing, our Premier Partner Program. Last year, we launched the Premier Partner Program to recognize and reward the partners for pretty much their commitments in providing super exceptional traveler experiences. We've purposely actually rolled it out slowly over the first 12 months or over the last 12 months to make sure we focus on the right things, and now we're starting to build some momentum. The feedback so far has been very, very positive. Over 90% of our Premier Partners surveyed said they appreciate and love the expedited customer service they get through the Premier Partner Program. We also featured Premier Partners in our marketing materials, and we found that those who participated saw a 6x uplift, a 600% uplift in bookings, which is pretty awesome, right? But as I said, we're just getting started, and we're really passionate about this program because we're designing it to drive value for your business, some of which I can share with you right now. So the first thing is that we're building a valuable brand for Premier Partners, for travelers to be able to know who you are. Today, travelers don't know who you are or what it means or why they should choose a Premier Partner listing. So you'll see us focusing on bringing Premier Partner listings to the forefront to travelers. The second thing we're doing is sending more travelers your way. If you're a Premier Partner, we're sending you more business. We're testing a new Premier Partner search filter, so travelers who will now know what a Premier Partner is can check a box, and they'll be able to see all the Premier listings in their area. So it'll really help with visibility of your homes to travelers. The third thing that we're doing is that we're working on a program to offer tips and meetups exclusively to Premier Partners to share ideas and network with other high performers. And fourth, we're working on exclusive discounts for you with companies that provide products you guys use all the time for your homes and businesses. And we're going to do that by leveraging our collective buying power to your advantage. Much more to come on that. But last, and certainly not least, we're working on scaling our marketing efforts so we can showcase more of our Premier Partners and help you take advantage of that 6x uplift that we've seen. So, two pieces of feedback we received. First, it's not really clear what you need to do to achieve Premier Partner status. To that end, we're working to make the criteria as clear and transparent as possible, so more on that coming very, very soon. And second, folks have expressed a concern that maybe they missed the boat and are too late to get to Premier Partner, right? But it's not too late. Don't worry, because it's never too late. We're working on these benefits over the next few months. So over the next couple of months, now is the time to focus on optimizing your listings. Talk to your account manager to figure out and get them to help you understand what you need to do to get to Premier Partner to participate in this rapidly growing set of benefits. All right, so to summarize, okay, shared a lot of things with you guys so far. And as Lisa and I mentioned earlier, HomeAway and Expedia are making major investments in our property management customers, as well as in our software. And we shared with you our commitments to deliver more high-quality bookings to you, simplify your business operations, and really, really energize our partnership in moving forward together in an industry that's growing faster than just about any other industry out there. We talked about the importance of consistent pricing to unlock higher conversions, market maker for property managers, and Expedia Group with over 600 275 million visits per month. We talked about the PM dashboard and the win-loss cards for property managers. And with all that, remember to get with your account manager to get access this year. And finally, we talked about the Premier Partner Program, what we're doing to make it a super valuable program. And again, you want to get with your account manager to maximize your leverage on that program. And through it all, it's all about working hard to make each other more successful in this rapidly growing industry and this business opportunity called vacation rentals. So now more than ever, HomeAway is committed to providing you, our premier partner, our property management partners, with products, tools, and services that are optimized for property managers and designed to help improve your property management business and performance. All right? So to give you a preview of some of the things we're going to cover in our next quarterly webinar, this is kind of the, whatever they call it, to get you interested in joining us next time. We're going to talk about a Q&A resource center and our blogs. That resource center is going to be a place you can go to get lots and lots of information on all the things that we're doing that are of strategic and operational importance. We're going to talk about reviews and trust. Okay, we're going to talk about that whole world and some of the things that we're doing there. We're going to share with you the world of virtual tours and augmented reality. Some of you guys may have heard of this. This was introduced, a couple of years ago. It is now hitting this industry, and HomeAway is participating in a very big way. In fact, if you're going to be at the VRMA National Conference in Las Vegas, we're going to share some of that in our Lunch and Learn. So please join us there. Data, communications, and innovation. Data, very, very big. How we're going to be using data and bringing and delivering that data to you. Communications, things like chatbots and communicating back and forth using technology, and what we're doing with innovation overall. So, big commitment to you is you're going to get a lot more and much better communication from us moving forward. We're starting with this webinar. You're going to get newsletters and various different kinds of outreach. Rise and Shines in 2019. We're going to be hitting or going to, that's a terrible word, isn't it, hitting? We're going to be going to 26 different places in North America in 2019. So we will for sure let you know when we're going to be in your neck of the woods. Please join us. We're going to give you updates as we go along. ResFest 2019, start thinking about it. I know it's a year out, but something to start thinking about. And it's all about our learning more and sharing more, giving your feedback, and working to make things much, much better for you, and doing a much better job at being sensitive on the changes that we make and how they impact your businesses. And we're going to be talking about a whole lot more at the next quarterly webinar. So with that, in closing, everything we do at HomeAway really points back to our company product vision, which is to connect travelers to the people and places they love through you, our partners. And we're raising the bar big time with big investments in supporting our property management partners. So we're super excited to be your partner, and please know that we're always grateful that you've given us the opportunity to earn your business. So, okay, that's about all I have to say. Thanks for joining us. Kara, take it away.
All right, thanks, John. And everyone on the call, thank you so much for joining our first quarterly webinar. As a reminder, we're going to send you a quick survey right after the webinar, and we really do want to hear your feedback. This is the first time that we're doing this, and we really want to test and learn and make sure everything we're sharing is super valuable and meaningful to you. So please take a couple seconds to fill that out. And if you submitted questions before or during the webinar, we'll be rounding those up and answering the top questions and sending those out to you in the next few weeks via email, so keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions, as John said, about specific products or features, please reach out to your HomeAway account manager. And last, again, thank you so much for being here today, and we look forward to hearing from all of you soon. Everyone have a fabulous weekend.